What is up, guys? Again, as always, welcome back to my channel. You guys don't understand how greatly I appreciate every single view and every single subscriber that I get. It makes me feel very happy that you guys want to come over and watch my content, so I really appreciate that. Today I have an amazing video for you today. It's going to be a very interesting one. As you can see in the title, we are talking about Colombia, my past trip, my most recent trip out of the country. It's my first time I've ever been in Colombia, so we're going to talk about a lot of do's, don'ts, and just a all-around whole spectrum of information that you should know, especially if you're a solo traveler or if you're even traveling with a bunch of friends. I think that this is very important and very crucial information for you as a traveler to Colombia. So please stay tuned throughout the whole video. We're going to be talking about a lot of interesting points. I mean, very interesting points, a lot of stories. I'm sharing my experiences and my stories to hopefully help you guys experience these things. You know, I will probably personally categorize this as probably the best trip I've been on ever. And I'm saying that, you know, Colombia is not the most beautiful place. It's not the cheapest place nor the most expensive. It's not the furthest place, the most close place. It is, when you categorize trips like this, you're 100% talking about the overall experience. And I can safely say that the experience I've had in Colombia, overall, I mean, within the weeks that I've been there, overall was probably the best trip I've ever been on. It wasn't like I was chilling on the beach and I was getting catered, or, you know, like just whatever, you know, makes you feel like it's the best trip. It wasn't just like some luxurious trip. I just think the experience overall, I've seen it all. You know, I got to the point where I could have been pampered. I've experienced things I've never experienced, you know, ever in my life here in the States. I've done things that, you know, I never thought I would have done. I was out of my comfort zone, which really makes for a good trip when you're out of your comfort zone and you really enjoyed it. And just all around, we'll get into like a lot of things that I've experienced there, and also a lot of things that really made me upset. But today, I will not be doing this video alone. I will be bringing on my guest, my good friend, Lenny Pablo Jr. Pablo's World. Make sure you go follow him on his YouTube channel. I'll make sure I have the description, his name down in the description below. So please go follow him. We do a lot of gaming stuff, and he posts a lot of gaming stuff. So go check it out. Like, follow, subscribe him as well. But yeah, without further ado, shit, let's welcome Lenny really fast. Let's round of applause. This video was so good. This is crazy. Tell this man to hurry up, man. Where y'all watch it?
Huh? It's right here.
Where y'all watch it?
See, that's why I said I'm gonna have to sit up like this, cause bro, like I told you the way it's set up. All right, I'm gonna be way too close to the camera.
All right, I'm gonna back at it. All right, guys, we are here joined with Lenny Pablo.
AKA.
I gave you all his tags. He on FaceTime right now. We want to discuss a whole bunch of things that happened to us in the trip, and do's and don'ts for, you know, travelers to Colombia, and just all around, you know, trying to help you with your experience. Because I hope that everybody gets at least close, or, you know, have the same experience that we had, because we had a really good experience in Colombia. So we're going to talk about our first topic, the corruption in the country. Our first day in there, like our first full day in there, we had a run-in with the police. It wasn't the best run-in. We went to the club, we were hanging out, and we left the club around 2 o'clock in the morning, 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning, and, you know, obviously, the police were sitting right outside. I mean, you would think that they're trying to keep everybody safe in that area, but they immediately pulled us over once we hit the next block. So we see the lights behind us, they pull or tell us to pull over. We pull over, and everything just pretty much went downhill from there. Lenny, what was your thoughts when you first seen the police, pull us over? Like, I know we were we were definitely a little inebriated for sure, me and you, but when they told us to pull over, what was your first thoughts?
I'm not gonna lie. My first thoughts when they pulled us over, like, I wasn't all the way there yet. So, like, I was still kind of, like, in a goofy, like, and then, like, it was the first time we ever got pulled over there. So, like, I was just thinking it's just a regular pull over, get a ticket, we butt our way. So, like, I really didn't, I don't know. I didn't think too much of it. It was what happened afterwards. It was like, all right, wow, like, this is crazy. Yeah. I didn't really think too much when we first got pulled over, though.
Yeah, 100%. I'm the same way. I really didn't expect what was going to follow that to happen. And pretty much what happened was when we got pulled over, they, started picking with us. I mean, it was obviously all in Spanish. So me and Lenny knew nothing what was going on. Our tour guide, our good friend, he literally had to handle the whole situation himself. And obviously we're all becoming terrified because they're yelling in Spanish. Like, they want us to get out the car and do all these things. And he's telling them they don't understand Spanish, I'm sorry. So we don't, they don't know what's going on. You're yelling like it's freaking them out. Like, let's just try to, resolve this. They pulled us over. We get out the car. All of a sudden, they get into like a whole little weird mood and weird vibe. And it turned out that pretty much they wanted money the whole time. So they were trying to pretty much finesse money out of us, by all these like scare tactics. And they're going to take our car. They're going to do all this, possibly deport us, and it was just a ridiculous situation that we put ourselves in, just leaving the club unknowingly, but they obviously wanted to get money out of us because they seen we were Americans. So we literally, had to pay the police just to let us go, and Lenny, you want to tell them what happened? What actually set us free? Because
I was just gonna ask, like, do you not want to say that, or like?
No, we're going to talk about that. We were like inebriated and we were drunk. So we were like getting into it back and forth about like what was happening and like how we felt about the situation. That's how intense it was. And Lenny really had a strong opinion about, the situation that happened. And I'm going to let him talk about what really got us to go, because I think that either the police would have got more money out of us or that situation would have turned a lot worse. And what happened next honestly saved us. And this is the first story for the hundreds of bullets we have dodged. We were literally the luckiest people on earth in that country. So I'm going to let Lenny take over, and he's going to tell you pretty much what happened. So go ahead, Lenny. Let them know what happened.
So how we got free because there was a car accident literally 2 minutes after we got pulled over. They pulled us out of the car. They asked us questions like, you guys is supposed to be drinking and driving, even though we weren't drinking and driving. And stuff like that. And as they're pulling us over, it was because like in Colombia, it's a lot of motorcycles. Like it's a whole, like it's almost as many motorcycles as it is cars. They just squeeze through the traffic and stuff. So as we're getting pulled over, I'm assuming what I think is what the guy was paying attention to us being pulled over, and he was just driving and wasn't paying attention to what was in front of him. But he was driving on his motorcycle, and I think he ran into another car, and he flipped, and like this dude, like the whole body just crashed into the ground, and like. The thing that got me and Vaughn kind of got into this big argument was, like, I mean, we both was messed up, but the thing was the police never flinched. Like, when this happened, they were still continuing, like, we finna get some money out of these two. Like, that's what out of this group, because it was 3 of us. We finna get some money out of them. They didn't even, like, I think it took one of the cops to say, hey, go over there and see what's going on down there. After a whole car accident right in front of all 5 of our eyes, like, we just seen this happen, and the cops just didn't care, like. And as that whole thing going down, they situate, like, they're getting that situation fixed down there. One of the cops is still harassing us, like, hey, like, like, well, we need something out of this. Like, if we're going to let y'all go, like, we get some money, even though we did nothing wrong. Like, we did nothing wrong. Like, we didn't get breathalyzed or any testing like that, so they had no reason. Like, I don't even think they assumed that we were drinking. They just they knew we were different. So that was a big thing that I felt like they really, they cared more. Like, I didn't say they cared because I don't know everybody there, but, like, it was really, like, we'd rather get this money than make sure this dude that just got into a car accident was alive. Like, I mean, not even alive, because he got up. We seen him hit the ground hard, but he got in a car accident. Like, he was messed up, clearly. But they was caring more about the money than they was that this dude just got into a car accident. And me and Vaughn had a big argument about that. That was crazy. That was...
Yeah, it was... I agree. Like, it was probably one of the most intense few minutes of our lives because... I mean, honestly, I stand, in my opinion, like that literally, his sacrifice. I mean, the guy was okay. I'm not saying like he didn't die. I mean, who knows? He probably was messed up, but like, his sacrifice really saved us because the severity of that situation could have been so much worse. Like, they were threatening to take our car and do all this other crazy stuff, and we had no idea what was happening. Like, me and Lenny, we were drunk. Like, I mean, we just had a great night out. We were already drinking like earlier in the day. We weren't driving. We had somebody driving us, and they seen we were, different, so they obviously pulled us over, tried to say, I don't even know what they were trying to say we were doing. Who knows? But you can't really argue with the police. Like, it's so corrupt. They have the say over everything pretty much. So we were just in a bad situation, and I mean, once that moped hit the back of that car, they looked up, but literally it was like they were so unaffected. I mean, you just had these guys, they just wanted the money. Like, that's all they cared about. They cared nothing about his livelihood. And I was how Lenny, like, he was just so serious about that situation because, like, this guy could have died and they did nothing to help, but they really just cared about, the money that they were going to get it from us. Because they knew American money, like, it's a lot more powerful than, the Colombian peso. So they knew they were going to get a lot of money out of us, and it wouldn't mean anything to us. Like, $25 to them, what's that, 5 for us? So, I mean, that was an intense situation. I mean, we had a great night up until then, but even after that, we still laughed and goofed around, and it was an amazing experience. Yeah, it was a great experience. So, just really watch out for, the corrupt cops when you're down there. They can be, especially for Americans, they can give you a lot of problems. It's another story. We also almost got deported on our way to El Pinon. It's a mountain in Guadalupe, and it was a bus full of us, and they pulled us over just like a random traffic stop, like random. They said, get over here. They pretty much harassed the driver, made him call his company for insurance papers. I mean, we literally spent like an hour there, and then they finally came to all of us, looked at all of our IDs, like we were going to be illegal or something like that, and then tried to say me and Lenny were illegal in their country because we didn't have our passports. And I'm thinking to myself, and I'm pretty sure Lenny, like, we were actually like exhausted. We were super hungover from the night before. Like, we were literally asleep until then. And I mean, I'm thinking to myself, like, why would I want to be illegal in Colombia? You know what I'm saying? Like, why would I want to come here illegally? Like, what were you thinking that whole time? Because I know, like, I seen your face, and I know you were just
I was like
I know, it's
I ain't
crazy.
gonna lie, I can't even say like I was mad because I'm not gonna lie, like we had partied like up real late, and we had to be up super early for that, so we only had like maybe an hour of sleep or so. So like I was definitely still sleepy. But the thing that was throwing me off is the way the cops was looking at me, like he was like mean mugging, and then I was like not trying to be funny, I was mean mugging him too, because like I didn't know what was going on because I was sleepy, like I'm tired, like we all just standing here, me and the cop, we just eyeing each other, like we just looking like I think he wanted to like tick us off so something could happen so we could get deported, because like he was just I don't know if he was just having a bad day or he just took his job too serious or whatever the case may be, but like he was just really on some like, I'm trying to get y'all out of here. Like, you get mad at me. Just do something so I can get y'all to get out of this cab. Like, it was... And I mean, we was respectful, though. Like, we didn't say anything to him. Like, because we couldn't understand what he was saying. We know he wouldn't be able to understand what we said, so...
That was a huge thing for us. Like, I think that situation could have turned a lot worse. Again, part two, because, I mean, if we would have... if that would have been the United States, like, I mean, we probably would have given him some lip, But like I said, the police corruption there is just... It's everywhere. It's widespread. So, I mean, they got overall say, like, you can't control it. It's nothing like being here in the United States. Like, police have, I mean, we all know police have a lot of issues here in the United States. But they do have to answer to somebody. And, it's a lot harder to get away with, like, bribery, corruption, and stuff like that because, they have body cams. And, eventually the world will see it. But there, it's none of that. Like, you're on a side road, on your way to Guadalupe. Like, if anything was to happen, like, there's nothing you can do about it. And we are in a foreign country. We don't understand what's going on. So, I mean, for us, we're absolutely screwed. So, I mean, in my head, I'm just like, I understand by context what he's saying. And I'm just so upset because I'm sitting here thinking, like, I mean, this is absolute bullshit. Like, we are literally here for just a vacation. We're going to Guadalupe. We're surrounded by a bunch of Colombian locals. We're just trying to have fun. And now here you go, picking at us on purpose just to get us to, like, lash out at you just so you can cause an incident, just so you can, find something, like Lenny said. He really just wanted to make the situation worse. Like, he was picking at us, and for like an hour straight, just trying to like make somebody mad so they can lash out and find he could exercise his power that he has. So I think a lot of police, it makes them feel big because they know they have a lot of. I think that's what he was really trying to do, and they pretty much saved us. Like they, obviously advocated for us and like really held us down and explained to him that like we just were out really late last night. Like we staying at a hostel. We left our passports in the locker at the hostel. We got up really early, so we just forgot to bring them. And it was just like it was just all around like a crazy experience. But I mean, thankful for our friends that like they really had our backs and they really advocated for us to the police. Cause I was really upset, man.
No, and that's another thing too. Like we were finna get deported for leaving our passports at home, not because we left them in another country. Even though you can't do that because you can't get into the country, but like we left our passports at a hostel. Like you going back to the States because like we can't just go to the hostel and get our passports and show you. Like that was another thing too. Like we was like deported. Like we're gonna get you out of here for not having passports, which I understand because like like I was talking to Camilo. He was like, yeah, it's kind of the same thing in the States with us. Not it's the same, but he was like, we have to have our passport everywhere we go because we can give them our ID, but they're not gonna understand nothing on it. And I was like, yeah, but I was like, you're not gonna get deported. All they're gonna do is just tell you like, hey, you can't buy this, like, because they want to buy alcohol or something. You need your passport, not your ID, because they can't use it. But then you ain't gonna get deported because you ain't got your passport on. You just, hey, you can't. So that's crazy. And then like you said, that's another thing too. Like, this is no disrespect towards Colombia, but most people leave their country to come to the United States. Like, we not trying to leave our country to come to Colombia. Like, I mean, I'm not. That's no disrespect towards Colombia, but we got it good here. I ain't gonna lie. So like, we got it pretty good here. So I don't think people
not
do
in
that.
like I mean, in many ways it could be an upgrade, but in a lot of ways it could be a downgrade. I mean, we're not trying to, leave our country.
It's like it's no disrespect towards anything like that, but you just don't see that. Most people, if you do flee the country, because you're running from the law, like you clearly can look at us and tell that we was tourists.
Yeah,
like
we're literally just tourists. Like we
different.
just chilling, and for us to just go through that, again, like have another police encounter, it was just, it was crazy. I mean, it was just too much. It was very overwhelming, and so we're gonna move on to the next one, which we're gonna talk about street merchants. I know Lenny.
Oh,
I know Lenny feels the most like the most passionate about this, and I really want him to explain how he felt about this. So go ahead, Lenny.
no, like I would say this, like Bogota and Medellin was pretty cool. Like I mean, you had the street merchants, like and I understand everybody trying to make their dollar. Like I get it. Like trust me, I understand that completely. Bogota and Medellin was pretty cool. Like I mean, you had them, you tell them no, it wasn't. It was really like you say no, thank you, and they go about their business, try to get the next person. Like I understand, like you gotta make your money. But Cartagena, oh my man, it's like you would walk past, like we could walk like maybe 10 seconds. Like you all get a good 10 seconds, then it's somebody else, another 10 seconds, somebody else. And then the thing that got me the most was that, all right, just for example, like they'd be selling hats. So one guy would come up with a whole bunch of hats, like, hey, we want these, we want these. We're like, no, thank you. And the next guy would come up with the same exact hats. 2 seconds after this guy just walked past you and say, here, you want these hats? And then we'll like pressure you, and you just like y'all got the same hats. If I told him no, well, I'm gonna tell you, yeah. Like it's not like I don't want that. Like the only reason why I think it frustrated me so much was because how much it was happening. Like in Bogota, Medellin, it was cool. It was like it happens every now and then. Like we walk 10, 20 minutes. Hey, we cool. And then they said once you tell them no, they're cool. Cartagena, no, listen. Like it was every 5 seconds. That's not an exaggeration. I'm so serious. Like that was so frustrating. And then this was around the time we were like on the verge, we were about to leave. We going all the way back to the States too. So we were, we were kind of tired. We drinking every day, so we were already like pretty beat. So then you just kind of get them constantly just like having you just here. You want this? You want like, and you just no like it just it was frustrating.
Yeah, I mean I 100% agree with you. Like I mean you literally took everything I was gonna say. You said it all. Like I mean absolutely aggressive. Like it was just that was ridiculous as well. Like that whole experience. I mean every single step you take. You have somebody wanting to sell you something, and then you got another person literally trying to sell you the second thing. And I mean, you also had like the thing he didn't mention. One thing he did not mention is the fact that you got a lot of people down there. Like you said, well, he did say trying to make their dollar, but you got these guys who go around, rapping and singing to you, and they follow you for like blocks, rapping. You know what I'm saying? Like trying to freestyle, and then you're just sitting here like trying to go throughout your day. Just do whatever you're trying to do, wherever you're trying to go, and they're following you, and then they're rapping, and then they expect you to pay. Like, they really expect, and they get mad when you don't tip them or pay them, but, you following me. I didn't ask for you to, like, they are absolutely bold there. Like, I mean, they got no shame. They don't care. They're trying to make their dollar, like you said, and they just, all around, they just want to They just want to. They try to beat you down pretty much to get that money out of you. They want you to just give up and just say, here, take some money, or let me just go to buy it. So like that's their whole plan. That's the whole thing behind it. So when you're down there, just be careful because they will beat on you, and until you just say, you know what, here, you just don't give in. My advice, don't give in. We didn't give in once. You know,
Almost. Remember the dude with the Pirates of the Caribbean? Jack Sparrow? He almost got me. I mean, well, yeah, he did give me. I ain't gonna lie. I was drinking at the time, so he did give me. But like, I didn't give him nothing though. Like, I didn't get no money out of him. Vaughn was there to like kind of save me, I guess. But I did. I was drinking, so I ain't even gonna take too much blame for that. That was alcohol.
I try to give him a little advice. Like, it's these things right here that I have on. The guy tried to pretty much wrap these around our hands and say, it's just a gift. And then, he tried to give us something else and then wanted us to pay for it. And then, pretty much I told Lenny, like, nothing is free. If somebody's trying to give you something and they say it's a gift, it's not a gift. So I'm glad you brought that up because that's a huge thing. Nothing in this world is free. I'm sorry. Nothing is free. So when people walk up to you and try to say that this is like free, just accept my gift, I promise, it's just free. Like, just know that follow-up, you're going to have to pay some money for that, and then they really want you to pay. They're trying to guilt you into paying for something like this. I mean, just look how small this is. Like, I mean, this is nothing worth, probably like 50 cents. They're charging 10,000 pesos for something like this, and it's a scam. So I'm glad you brought that up. Yeah, I mean, they try to rip you off. They try to beat down on you. They try to, get their dollar. So don't give in. Don't accept any gifts. Don't accept anything like that. But we're going to move on because we are getting hit on time pretty fast right now. So we're going to talk about one of the biggest things you got to worry about. You hear this topic so much when people tell you about traveling to other countries. I heard this in every conversation I've had, about asking somebody, what did you think about this country? This is the main topic.